Hey guys, welcome back to Phil Plays TCG. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I'm still dealing with the aftermath of the food coma and having to work Black Friday yesterday. I am exhausted, but I wanted to get this video out because there's so many videos I have sitting on my computer that I just need to edit and get out. Thank you guys so much for your patience. We're continuing today with the history of series, going over the history of colors in the game, how well each leader did in that color during their release, and how they're doing now, as well as talking about the future of the game, of the future of that color per se. Sorry, like I said, I'm tired. It's snowing right now where I live, and we're expecting to snow all day today. So I'm going to get some content out here today. So if you do like Dragon Ball Super Fusion World content, make sure to hit like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Did I tell you that I'm tired? I hope I did. Hit that hype button. That's YouTube's newest thing. And let's start talking about the color green, because that was the most requested color to do next. We'll probably do yellow after this. Then we'll probably do black. Because black has like the least amount of leaders because it's the newest color in the game. So might as well talk about green right now, because green has had a very interesting history here in the Dragon Ball Super Fusion World card game. So starting out with set one, excuse me. Starting on set one, we had two set one leaders and one starter deck leader. Starter deck leader in this case was Broly, while the set leaders were Gohan and Android 17 and 18. So right off the bat in set one, green was by far the best color in the game, the most dominant color in the game, due to the fact that green's whole shtick at the time was ramping and playing really big bodies that had little to no answers to in the late game. Gohan and Broly, in my opinion, were the two best leaders for green in set one. Later on in set one, there was a deck that could stand up with them, and that was Super Saiyan Starter Goku, because of the particular playstyle that you could use with it. Some people discovered that it worked pretty well into these leaders. So that was probably the three best decks in set one, being Broly, Gohan, and Super Saiyan Goku. Excuse me. Basically, Broly and Gohan played very similarly. You basically just you ramped up and spammed 8-cost Broly that could swing twice and KO a body, plus drawing you a card. The only difference really was that Broly, you basically, the only way Broly would be able to draw was if you sacrificed a energy, and then he does get a 5k power up, going to 30k swing on your turn. Gohan, basically, he had a built-in defense where you could drop an energy to boost his power by 15k for a single battle. So essentially, you always got a free combo. Now, Broly was just like I said, the flavor of green deck did depend on who you just liked playing more. But Broly's big up over Gohan was that he was a 25k base leader. So your opponent will always have to combo something to swing into it, because most of the leaders were at the 20k level. So Broly had that built-in defense, as well as being able to just be a very big powerhouse in the late game. Gohan had a different type of built-in defense, but he was just a little lower to the ground most of the time. Android 17 and 18, though, really didn't see much play until set 2. Set 2 is where they really popped off with a lot more green Android support, which they allowed them to just be incredibly consistent. Like, holy crap. In addition, with the new Cell cards, they were just a fantastic deck to play. And 17-18 soon overshadowed both Broly and Gohan as being the best green deck in the format. And for a while, for multiple sets in a row, green Androids, I'd say, was probably the best deck in the format. Probably anywhere from set 2 up to set, probably even like set 4 or 5, they were just the best green deck, if not the best deck in the format. They were just incredibly consistent, and they haven't lost anything per se. It's just that they've been power crept per se. Green decks are now doing better things that don't revolve around green Android, so they can't utilize any of that. But there are still some people that are playing green Androids because it does work with a lot of just generic good green stuff. But overall, set 1 green was just absolutely nuts. All right, set 2 introduced Green Cell. Now, Cell was a very interesting deck at the time, being able to essentially, you ramped pretty quickly. You had a couple different cool cards to help ramp very quickly on theme for the deck, which was ramping your 1-drop Earthling cards. So you would a lot of early builds would have quite a few. Oh no! Drop the card. Have a few. Very low to the ground 1-cost Earthling cards, and then you would play Ginger Town, something. Welcome to Ginger Town, and you would just ramp all those Earthlings to ramp up pretty quickly. Now there are other builds, of course, for the deck that did very, very well. But Cell overall, his whole thing was ramp up quickly, play the 8-cost Cell, heal himself, and then do it again. So in the late game, once again, Green shined very, very well. I still think Green has like the best end game for any of the colors in the game. It's a very annoying deck to play against. Early on, this deck didn't make a whole lot of moves, but it did find a sweet spot, I want to say, between like sets 3 and 4. This deck did do fairly well, and there are some people that are still doing well with this deck today. It's just a lot of people were using the cards that it got to better Green Android 17, 18, because Green Androids overall, like just good generic Green Android support, benefited both decks. I still think Cell is a very cool rogue deck. I just don't see it doing much in this current meta. In a slower meta, I think Cell does very, very well. In a very fast, aggressive meta, Cell just doesn't have what it takes to keep up with the other decks here. I still really like the leader a lot. It just, not doing well in this upcoming meta. Now with the recent nerfs, I should say, the limits to both Red Cell and Yellow Boo, there's a chance that maybe the meta could slow down a little bit, which could give this deck some time to shine, but we'll have to find out. Let's hop on to set 3. All right, here we go. And all right, in set 3, we got introduced to Piccolo. Now, Piccolo, right out of the gate, not gonna lie, was probably one of the worst decks in that set. It was just incredibly slow. Once again, it focused on Green's ability to ramp and then play really big bodies, really big cards at the near the end game. Its ability being when this card attacks, deal damage if you have 8 or more energies, switch this card to active mode, was a pretty interesting ability. It was too slow. And in that meta where we had more aggressive decks in the format, it just wasn't able to, excuse me, it basically had no early game. It was all late game. You needed to ramp as quick as possible for the deck to start doing anything. Now, funny enough, Piccolo has gotten a little bit of support the last couple sets, and now Piccolo is considered a rogue deck. It's still fairly slow, but it does have more consistency now to help get that ramp up quicker. And of course, it can take advantage of pretty much any of the big late game green boss monsters to help with its end game. Piccolo is a really fun deck. I actually pulled this alt art leader in my brother and I, when we first got our boxes of set 3. I traded it away for the Majin Buu leader to a buddy of mine. I kind of wish I kept it, but I do love that Buu leader. So it's, I don't know. I still think at this time, Piccolo is not, it's a fun deck that if you don't know how to handle it, if you don't take it out properly, it is a problem in the late game. But I just don't see Piccolo really doing a whole lot unless the meta slows down. You're going to hear this a lot with green decks, is that they're great late game, awful early game. Next up with set 4, we got Green Vegeta. Green Vegeta also got a reprint leader in Manga Booster 1 that got a lot of extra support to it. Green Vegeta basically was the first green leader in a while to not necessarily focus on ramping as quick as possible up to 8. Instead, it wanted to stay at a lower energy level, typically 4 or less energy, because that's where the sweet spot was. So not only did you have to worry about ramping an energy every single turn, which took a card out of your hand, or focusing on a big late game, Vegeta excelled in the mid game being able to play a lot of really cool cards like the 6-drop. I want to say it's a 35 or 40k grade 8 Vegeta that did a lot of did a lot of things, applied a lot of pressure. You have the manga booster, which gave it a lot of great new support for the early game, making the deck more consistent. And for a while after manga booster came out, we did see Green Vegeta, appear in regionals a bit more. And it's honestly, it's one of those decks that if you don't know what you're doing, against it, it can be a bit of a problem. But on launch, Vegeta really didn't do a whole lot. He was a fun rogue deck in the at launch, but once people realized what decks were doing really good, aka Black Baby and Yellow Majin Buu, Vegeta became pretty barren. Vegeta players were just not there. But after Manga Booster, like I said, it did see a resurgence, and I still think to this day it is a decent rogue leader, and it's one of those leaders that you need to know the matchup. And if you don't, you're gonna have a bad time with it. But once again, not making a whole lot of splash on today's current meta. Set 5 introduced us to Son Goku from Namek. Now this leader, once again, it was a bit different than other green decks. Thank God, because we were so tired of getting the same type of green deck over and over again. Ramp, play some big stuff late game. Goku was very cool. And in fact, I ran this leader a couple times at locals and did pretty well, including winning 1 or 2 of the locals with it. It's a very fun leader. Basically, this card was always a 30k body on your turn. He awakened late, later in the game when you had 3 or less life, but basically he was always a 30k leader on your turn, so he was very aggressive. You had the ability to essentially ramp your life from 2 to 3 at the end of every turn, as long as you had 7 or less cards 7 or less energy. So you always want to stay at 7 energy, never wanted to go above 8. Because for the most part, if you were at 8, this ability would get shut down. Its fun engine was being able to play Pot of Greed. I kid you not, there was a card called Goku's Spaceship, or Dr. Brief's Spaceship, that let you draw 2 cards. So you essentially were able to keep your hand very, very big to use your abilities, which was discarding a card to ramp a life, or to just have a bigger hand for defensive purposes. This was a very fun rogue leader at the time and did pretty well, honestly, when it first came out. It did get some newer support in the Manga Booster 2 because we did get another we got another Namek Goku, but a different version of it. But it has since kind of fallen to obscurity. Not many people are playing this leader. They're now willing to play the new Namek Goku, which we'll get to in a little bit. But overall, this leader I thought was very, very fun. I like it a lot, even still to this day. It just needs a little bit of boost to get it back into the current meta. In set 6, we essentially got 2 different leaders. We got the set leader Broly BR, and in a starter deck that came out a bit afterwards, I believe so. If I'm mistaken, let me know in the comments. But we got a Green Star deck in collaboration with Dragonball Legends. We got Giblet for our green leader, and the black leader at the time was Shallot. So these 2 decks overall, once again, very, very different. Broly, I'll admit, Broly did kind of go back to being, ramp as quick as possible, but Broly's whole stick is being able to play your bigger monsters early, similar to, excuse me, sorry, for those listening with headphones on. It's very similar to Masters, being able to play a lot of your bigger bodies for much cheaper. Being able to play that, it feels based off Broly's ability here, when attacking, choose a Broly BR and play in your battle area and place it into your drop. You have 4 energy, play a Broly BR with a cost of 1 greater than the card chosen by the skill in your hand. So basically, you would play a Broly down for 4, but that Broly will get a bonus to its cost, go to 7. So you then get rid of the 7 cost, quote unquote, 7 cost Broly and play an 8 cost, and you're still at 4 energy. So you're able to get your big bodies out much quicker. Broly was a bit of a gatekeeping deck for a while because even though you knew exactly what Broly would do, you had to prepare for it. If you did not have an out for all the big Brolys that it would play, you would essentially be out. There's no way. You'd have to figure out a way to deal with those Brolys. And these, of course, are the 8-cost Broly from the starter deck, as well as the new 9-cost Broly that healed and did a lot of really bad things to your opponent. So Broly was a bit of a gatekeeping deck for a while. He's not so much anymore. I still feel like Broly can be a bit of a gatekeeper in certain metas, just because of his just ability to play bigger bodies so quickly and more consistently now that he's gotten some support. But I still haven't seen him post any type of regional listing in a while, so maybe he's just out for a while now. Now, Giblet did make a huge splash, being a green deck that focused primarily on trashing your own energy to play bodies from your hand, as well as being able to just have a lot of really cool cards that costed low, but you had to basically cycle your energy in order to play them. Giblet did see a bit of play for a while, and he was actually in some regional topping lists for a while. But for a while, since Manga Booster 1 came out, he really hasn't seen a whole lot of play. So it's unfortunate, but he definitely does need some support. We'll just have to see if he can break into the meta now that we have our recent bans. Limits. But yeah, I mean, he was a really cool deck. I never really played him, so I don't have a whole lot of personal experience with him. Next, we have for set 7, we got Orange Piccolo, or Piccolo from the superhero movie. Piccolo actually made a huge impact on the meta, being one of the few decks that are able to break into it to compete with Red Cell and Yellow Boo. Now, these two, I should say not these two. Orange Piccolo's whole thing, once again, went back to ramping, playing a lot of really big bodies, aka the Beast Gohan Secret Rare, towards the end game, which allowed him to play it for 8, then bring back 5 energy, restand 5, play the 5-cost Piccolo SR, so you had a really big blocker. So you're able to play essentially 13 energy worth of cards for 8. It's pretty good. It's got some great defensive abilities built in, being able to redirect an attack once per turn to a cost of 3 or more on your board with superhero. So you normally would redirect it to the Piccolo or the Gohan. So as long as you got to your late game and you were able to see your Gohans back to back along with your Piccolos, you were able to really do well in this meta, because not only was it defensively, it could hit like a truck. Having those secret rare Gohans that KO'd something on board and of course swung in big, you weren't going to have a problem there. The only problem with the deck is that it does need to see its ramp pieces on curve, because you want to be able to get to 8 energy, I want to say by like your turn 5. So if you weren't able to do that, the deck did kind of peter out. You also had some issues with it bricking towards the end game with certain cards in your hand. But I think for the most part, I played this leader quite a bit. It's a very fun, consistent deck, and I'm not surprised that it did well. It is doing well in the current meta. Now that we've got the limits to Cell and Boo, I can honestly expect this leader to be much more prevalent, but we'll just have to see how the new decks impact the meta. And then, of course, Manga Booster 2. We got this about 2 or so weeks ago. We got another Namek Goku. This one being a little bit different. Let me read off its ability here. Activate main once per turn. Add 1 card from your life to your hand. If you only have cards of Planet Namek and their special traits in your battle area, switch this card to active mode. Then this card gets 10k power. So you swing for 20. You take a life to go, so restand and swing for 30. In my opinion, the other Goku is a bit better in that way, because it helps you heal life, and it's a swing for 30. But this one, I guess, can be considered a bit more aggressive, being able to swing for 20 and 30. But honestly, a lot of people were just saying that this leader heavily reminds them of the previous one, and a lot of their support is very interchangeable. Beyond that, this leader hasn't made any impact on the meta, so there's not really much else to talk about. But I mean, it's super cool that we got another Namek Goku that can work with the previous Namek Goku support, so it has a lot going for it. It's just a lot of people aren't playing this one, because if you're going to play green, Orange Piccolo is the best pick for that. And finally, coming up in set 8, which is only about 2 weeks away, is Turles. Turles looks to be a very interesting deck. Once again, it deviates from the typical green formula of ramp, play big bodies towards the end game. This one now, you want to stay at 5 or less energy, because you want to be able to play the Fruit of the Tree of Might without paying its cost, which only works if you have 5 or less energy. This card heavily relies around playing fruit off your energy, or using cards, playing cards that get bonuses because you have the Fruit of the Tree of Might in your energy. It's got all of Turles' Crusher Core, and all of them have really interesting abilities that work off of the Fruit of the Tree of Might, being able to get bonuses to their attack, KOing things. It's a very interesting deck style, and I honestly, this is my thoughts. I do see this deck doing decently well in this meta. Now that things are slowing down a little bit due to the limits of Cell and Boo. But beyond that, I don't know how far this deck is going to go. I do see it making some type of impact. I do see this as being a good rogue option, at least. But we'll have to see how things go. We only got about 2 weeks away from the release, so I'm hoping we can start getting some people start putting some lists out, some testing. I will probably try testing this. I know my friend Derek, shout out to CCG Replay, is going to want to play this deck. I sent him this, and he begrudgingly said he's going to have to build this. He doesn't play Fusion World anymore, but he wants this. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video, talking about the history of green. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about your experience with this color. Did you play it? Did you despise it? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Make sure to hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the hype button if you like the video and want to hype it up so it gets in the YouTube algorithm. And subscribe for any more future Dragon Ball Super Fusion World content. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your support and your patience. Hope that you're doing well and have a great rest of your day and have a happy week. Until the next video, take care.